In this video, we're gonna go over this past week's trades, and I'm just gonna recap, my thought process and my strategy behind why I took certain plays, and kind of the context of how the market was acting, but also the context of which I had to take my trades because I am doing my nursing new grad orientation at the same time right now. So yeah, my orientation starts at 8 a.m. So when the market opens at 6:30 a.m. and I have to leave the house by 7:15 a.m. That only gives me 45 minutes to take a trade. So within those 45 minutes, I have to either stay cash, decide not to take a position, or if I see one that's in my favor and has a high chance or high probability of making me money, then I take it. But yeah, my orientation started on Monday, so it's not like I have a whole bunch of time to sit around and stock the market. I only have 45 minutes every day. So that's kind of the context of which I was taking trades this week. These trades, the trade results are not normal, they are abnormal. I have never lost this past week, which is amazing. You guys can see on Monday I made 279, on Tuesday 471, Wednesday 207, Thursday 181, and Friday I made 615. So let's go over each of these trades, starting with Monday. Okay, for Monday, I'm just gonna go over the trade itself and not, trade replay. I'll go over the trade replays for my two biggest wins this week. It was Friday and Tuesday, I believe. For Monday, August 21, I took three option contracts on NVIDIA calls right at the market open. I trade on the 2 minute. So yeah, if you take a look at the 2 minute, I enter at 6:34 a.m. on this candle right here, and I get out in the same candle. And so I think it being a Monday and it being the beginning of the week, and also never having to be on a time constraint of 45 minutes, I decided to take a scalp that was very quick, happening within a few minutes, and didn't want to get stopped out or anything else. So I got out in the same candle at 6:34 and 6:35, and the IVs were crazy. Yeah, this was coming up to NVIDIA's earnings. So this was contracts were very volatile and very expensive, and so yeah, I knew it was gonna make some sort of move. So if I take a look at the pre-market, yeah, it's just kind of consolidating at this level, and my thought process is kind of wait it out, and once it gives me a confident price action kind of move off this level, either breaks the pre-market high of here or the low of here, I would enter. So take a look at the 5 minute. Yeah, it's kind of the context of the pre-market was that it was just kind of grinding up throughout the pre-market. And yeah, I mean, if you look at the day, just grind slowly to the upside, a few pullbacks in the beginning, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I had an R multiple of 1.43, so not bad for a scalp. When you're scalping, you obviously don't have time to hold your runners as long. I was perfectly fine with that. I mean, I could have obviously done better in terms of holding a runner or two, because there's no reason to get out on this push. But with the video being so volatile and it being a Monday, I decided to take my money, don't overstay my welcome, and head to the first day of nursing orientation. So that was Monday. On Tuesday, I made $471. Let's take a look at the trade replay. This play was on Tesla. Look at the 2 minute and the 5 minute. I'll have it run on a 2x speed, going at the speed of 2x of what the market usually presents. So I believe this was Tesla for the downside. And if you guys take a look at the pre-market, it's kind of consolidating between these two levels right here, 635. Yes, within the first 5 minutes, it's selling off, you know, hugely. So a lot of downside. Yeah, so I get in right here. You know, get the brush. Go back a little bit. So yeah, I mean, I should have gone in way earlier. This is a bit of a chase, but yeah, I should have already been in, you know, business here. But I wanted, you know, real confirmation for a quick scalp. Once again, I had orientation again, so yep, enter right here. 37, 5, yeah, around here somewhere. E for entry. And then I guess I get out within the same candle right here. So once again, within the same candle, I get out. Quick scalp. Yeah, all at 637. I enter at 636, 4.8. Exit all at the same candle at different times. 534, 509. And it seems like I took 6 contracts. So 6 contracts, you know, within a span of a minute, made around $471. I actually had 10 contracts. And I got out once more, I guess, right here at 639. About 2 minutes after in the next candle. So, yep, my Tuesday trade. So on Wednesday, made $207. I took 14 contracts with Tesla calls. I believe this wasn't the greatest trade. Yeah, like in the beginning, my running piano was, you know, looking bad. I was down, you know, in the thousands. But this definitely was a 1-star trade, 1 out of 5-star trade. Let's see how this played out. So yeah, this pushes up, you know, from the market open. Pre-market's looking like this, and you know, it pushes all the way up, and I get in at the way top, right around here, and you know, it's pulling back. But the pullbacks have low volume, and you know, has bullish wicks, and you know, and my stop loss was, you know, at the bottom of this candle, so that's where I was gonna admit I was wrong. But obviously never hits that, as it kind of wicks off this level right here. So I'm adding more. I added 4. I went in with 10 contracts at 630. Went in with another 4 contracts at 637. And at this point, I'm kind of just waiting for the, you know, trade to work out in my favor. And once it gives me 2 legs up, I take my first exit of 4 contracts, 6:47 a.m. And then I get out with the rest of my position, 6:48 and 6:49, $207. And once again, this trade even runs up for the rest of the day. So if I had time, you know, I could have probably, you know, routed through this pullback, some runners, and yeah, I mean, I think the premiums went to 6.6. I got out at 4.7, but if I got out at 6.6, I'd have made $3,000, making a 3-hour trade. So, you know, if you're green, you're green. I'm happy with that. You know, obviously I could have, you know, gotten a better entry and a better exit, you know, with in terms of, you know, how the trade played out and whatnot. But once again, it was orientation week, and within the context of me planning on taking a, you know, 1 or 2 minute scalp, you know, I was happy that I, you know, ended up, you know, green and not taking a loss for the day. But that could have very well happened, you know, if this just shot up and decided to, you know, just reverse right back down. I would have got stopped out, and all I could have done at that point was just take my loss. So you're never certain or 100% with the market and with the trade you take. So all you have to do before you enter a trade is just to make sure that you have a level, you have a certain price that when the stock hits that, you have to admit that you're wrong and take the loss and look for a better probability entry. So that was for Wednesday. On Thursday, I had 3 trades for Tesla puts. This is a trade that I also could have got a better exit at. Could have made a little bit more money, but because this trade just sold off immediately. Or it sold off for a long time. So I get in at the market open after seeing this downside, and all within the same candle I'm getting out. So with 8 contracts, I only made $156. Premiums went to 6. Even I think it went all the way to 9.65. So even if I went, even if I sold my premiums at 6, I would have made $2,157. So that's the, once again, can't play the shoulda, woulda, coulda game. All I could do is just learn from that. Maybe hold a runner here and there. That's all I can take from that. And if you guys can't tell by now, that's probably one of the biggest things I have to work on, and my biggest weakness in terms of how I trade. I like to scalp. I like to take my profit when I see that I'm green, but I definitely need to work on holding runners and not giving away profits. But it's a fine balance between not being too greedy and knowing when to take profits. So trying to work on that day by day. And on Friday, which was the biggest day of the week, I made $615. Let's take a look at the trade replay for that one. This play was on NVIDIA. Take a look at the 2 and the 5 because that's what I trade on. What I saw in NVIDIA in the pre-market was a break and retest of a zone. I don't have my levels on here, but if you can look at this. Alright, before I started, what I was looking at was NVIDIA's, there was a zone, T zone, an important level that I was watching. And what NVIDIA did was, shoot up the prior day, and during the pre-market, it broke and retested it. If you guys can see, if I made a level right here, what it did was break and retest it, and then it just kept working off that. So with that, and also with the NASDAQ, the stock was very relatively weak. So when the NASDAQ was shooting up, I'll post a chart of NASDAQ, while I was taking this trade. While the NASDAQ was, shooting up, NVIDIA was selling off, from a bear flag and trend line break. So with the relative weakness, the trend line break or the bear flag break, and also the break in the retest of an important zone, those 3 areas of confluence was what made this trade a high probability setup, and what ultimately urged me to take this trade. And once again, I had orientation, and so I had 45 minutes max to take a scalp or 2 and just try to get money. Yeah, let me draw the bear flag. Yeah, it was trending up like this. Yeah, right from the market open, it's selling off, and selling off while NASDAQ is going up. So I'm looking at it, seeing that it's very weak, and so I enter right here. Just to kind of summarize how I trade, I do a bar by bar analysis, which is primarily influenced by Albrook's price action bar by bar technical analysis book. I highly recommend that book to anyone who's serious about trading. And yeah, it's helped me really learn how to read the candle bar, for how it presents itself, and try to read what the market is telling me through those candle bars. And I also use volume as another indicator, especially on pullbacks and just the first few minutes of the market open. That's when I think it's an important indicator to keep in mind and look out for. And so I have the bar by bar analysis and a zone to zone system. I can also call it a level to level system, but how I look at my key inflection levels is really as zones, because the market is not black and white, it's gray. So it has zones that it doesn't always hit the certain level to a T, to the exact stock price, to the cent or to the dollar. It can wick a little bit past it or wick a little below it. I really just look at it as zones, as key inflection zones instead of levels. There's other things that can also come in play, like certain trend line breaks that would prompt me to think it's a trend line reversal or a bounce off of a zone from a sell-off, or once again, if there's a relative weakness with a stock, if the SPY or ES or NASDAQ is shooting up, the stock is shooting down, it shows that the stock is relatively weak and it doesn't really care about what the overall market is doing, which prompts me to be convinced that the stock is weak and make money on the sell-off to the downside. So yeah, it's all about putting the areas of confluence together and understanding that no trade is certain, no trade is 100% that 100% accurate, but what you can do on a day-to-day basis is trust your high probability setups, trust your zones, trust your ability to read the candle bars for what they are objectively, and don't take a trade with bias. At that point, you're delusional, because you're thinking the market is going to do something when the market is showing you otherwise. So you want to stay as objective, as rational, as logical as possible, and look at the price action for what it is, and let the price action dictate your action. So trade replay setup is not working for me. So I'm just going to show you guys what happened. So yeah, this is kind of like the zone, right? So it bounces off here, it breaks it comes back, and works back off, and comes to the downside. And then also what was happening with the pre-market was kind of a trend line that was going like this, there, something like this. So whichever way it was going to go, I thought it was going to be bearish, and once it breaks that, I enter with 8 contracts at 4.4, and I get out all within the same minute or two, and one more at 5.54 at 682, making it a 2-minute trade, $615. That's $300 a minute. I don't really know any other job that can provide me with that much capital within a few minutes, but nevertheless, very thankful for that. And it's a good thing in this case that I took my profits, because as you guys can see, within the next few candles, it shoots back up and kind of consolidates. I'm thinking it's just faked out. A lot of people thinking, making people think that it's gonna push to further upside, but it sells off. I would say if you're still in the market, which I wasn't, I went back to orientation. But once it broke that, you could maybe set up a tight stop loss, right here, and set a target until you either see ultimate weakness, or another reversal candle, which could have been here. Hold a couple runners on this level, and yeah, you could have made a lot of money. So that was my last trade. That was my Friday trade. Hope you guys liked the trading recap. Let me know how you guys think about how I trade, what I can do better, or if you guys have any questions about how to get set up, or just anything regarding trading, or even nursing and how my orientation is, or what to or how to even be a nurse. Anything, you guys can let me know. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.